Hey, everybody, it's Brian, and welcome to episode 29 of Beyond the Rider. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, please be aware that you can check out this video version of the podcast as well as my other motorcycle content on my Bry the Biker YouTube channel. Today, we have a very special guest, Ty from Tennessee. Ty, how are you, sir?
Man, I am doing fantastic, and I appreciate you having me on your show.
Oh, I appreciate you putting up with my inability to tell time and dates, and I'm a hot mess anymore. So
No,
how
it's
are you?
okay. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. Yeah, I know. Like you mentioned, we were having problems scheduling and everything. My mouth is put back together. I had to go through a couple of root canals that we talked about, so that was no fun. But yeah, man, I'm put back together 100% and ready
Well,
to
I'm
go.
glad to hear that.
Yeah,
That's good. Life gets in the way, and I appreciate your patience with that. It's been a kind of a whirlwind, I guess, on both our ends.
yeah. No
So,
trouble.
so I guess we start out. Well, I guess everyone now knows you're from Tennessee, so I like that. That's easy.
Big shocker there.
So I guess let's talk about your social media.
Yeah.
You're on YouTube. You're on Instagram.
Yep. On YouTube, Ty from Tennessee. You can also find me if you go to tyfromtn.com. That link should redirect you to my YouTube page. That's one way to find me.
Nice.
But on YouTube, I've been making motovlogs and videos for probably about a year and a half now or so. Really enjoy the hobby. It's just a lot of fun and met a lot of great people doing it. As far as other social media, on Facebook, I've got a Ty from Tennessee page that I occasionally throw links up and pictures and things like that. And then you can find me on Instagram at Ty from Tennessee.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's super easy. I should have thought about something that easy.
Yeah.
It just kind of cuts out it all. So how long have you been riding?
Man, on and off, probably about 20 years. I mean, when I was growing up, probably the first motorcycle top thing I had is my grandfather bought me a little Honda 50 moped that I would ride around all over in Eastridge, Tennessee while I was growing up and that type of thing. That was just a lot of fun. And but my first real motorcycle was probably about 20 something years ago at this point, and that was a Yamaha V-Star 650.
Nice.
So that was the first real motorcycle that I bought when my kids were younger, and that was a great bike. It was perfect for me at the time, exactly what I needed just to kind of learn my way around on a cruiser. I outgrew that one pretty quick, and then I upgraded to a Yamaha Roadstar. I think back then it was a 17 or an 1800. It's a black bike, just beautiful. Again, just what I needed for that time, and rode those for years and years. And then it got to the point, the kids get a little bit older, and you're thinking, okay, am I going to have a nice motorcycle, or am I going to get them a car? That type of thing. Am I going to help them save for college, or am I going to ride a motorcycle? So, I had to put the bike on hiatus and take a break for a while and fulfill my fatherly obligations, and started riding again about 3 or 4 years ago at this point. So, yeah.
Okay. So when you started back, what did you have? Did you still have the same bike?
No. I sold the Yamaha bikes, but when I started back, it was time. The kids were older. My wife and I were at that point. We were almost empty nesters. We had one or two at the house left, so it was time to start looking for a Harley Davidson. I mean, I'd always wanted a Harley Davidson. It's the premium line of motorcycles, and it comes with a price. And myself is just like a lot of other people. You're younger, your kids are younger. Harleys are expensive. I mean, they just are. So I ended up strolling in the dealership over at White Lightning and linked up with a great salesman there who was just super kind to me. And I ended up getting a 2018 Road King.
Nice.
Yeah. And that was a fantastic bike as well. The Road King that was the perfect Harley to introduce me into kind of the Harley culture. It was just great. It was a great bike. And then that one actually, it experienced some electrical issues that I just really didn't want to battle and fight with.
Mhm.
So White Lightning took excellent care of me, and they hooked me up with a 2020 Tahitian Teal Street Glide. And
Nice.
that is the motorcycle that I had when I first started my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And incidentally, that was the one that got totaled in the motorcycle accident that I was in last November. But now I'm on a 2021 Street Glide CVO, and it's bronze armor, and it's beautiful. It's a great bike.
Nice.
Yeah, great bike.
That's a huge step up from the beginning.
Yeah, a nice progression. You know, it really is. But the CVO, it has everything that I wanted. You know, when my wife and I were deciding, okay, what's going to be next if I get another bike, you know, we went through the list of, okay, what exactly would I like to have on a motorcycle? And that CVO fit that description just about perfectly. So, you know, that's what we decided to go with. It's a good fit for us, you know?
I think they're great bikes.
Yeah.
I was looking at the Road Glide CVO because I have an ultra limited, and I was like, oh, this is pretty nice.
Beautiful. I mean, beautiful, you know, especially that, I don't know if I've got the exact colors named correctly, but they've got one Road Glide CVO. It's that black and red type of, oh man, it's so sharp.
That's what this was. And I was just sitting there like, you know, it's a good thing I don't have my bike with me.
Right.
Can't afford it, but
yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really neat. So I guess coming from the Street Glide going to the CVO, what is the biggest advantage to you? I mean, do you see a because I guess there's two sides of the fence, right? It's a beautiful looking bike, but is it I guess I'd be interested to know, especially since you came off of a Street Glide and went to that.
Yeah.
What do you see the primary difference?
You know, with me, I am a technology guy. I love the gadgets and gadgets and all the cool stuff that come with it. And that's one of the things I love about the CVO is that, you know, all the technology is there. Anything that I could ask for is there. I mean, the other Street Glide that I had, it had a 114. So the CVO's got a 117. And just to be perfectly honest with you, I can't really tell that much of a difference.
Okay.
I mean, it's a powerful engine. It's got more get up and go than, you know, somebody who rides motorcycles the way that I do. I'm not going to wear that out or max it out. But you know, it's just the technology, and for me, everything's there. Everything's there that I need, and it's going to be bundled up with that one price tag, and I'm good to go. And you know, so that's what works for me for the CVO.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
So what so your wife Winnie, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Just want to make sure I had that right.
Yeah, man.
Like to insult a man with his wrong way.
Yeah, Winnie Cooper, like the Wonder Years, you know.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now she you know, do you guys, I know she's taken a break since the accident.
That's right.
But before then, I'm assuming you guys spent a lot of time touring.
Yeah, we did a lot of riding together. I mean, probably just about every weekend. Now I'm trying to think with myself and Winnie, we didn't do a lot of long out of town trips, but we did a lot of riding around the Tennessee and Georgia area, that type of thing. But right now, yeah, man, she's taking a break. She's not saying that she's never going to ride again, but it might go that way. It could possibly go that way.
Understandable, but she's okay.
Yeah, she's okay. She's okay. Yeah, she you know, she suffered from some leg and some muscle tissue injuries and that type of thing. She had to go through physical therapy, but she's put back together 100%, and she's I mean,
good.
She's fantastic, man. She's my greatest supporter. You know,
that's awesome. How are you doing after that?
Yeah, I'm doing well. A few little aches and pains, but you know, my doctor has released me, and so I'm okay. But it was rough, man. That was one of those very scary times where you literally see your life flash before your eyes. It was crazy, but I broke 9 ribs, broke my collarbone. Yeah, they had to do some surgery and put some metal in there. Yeah, I'm back together. Other than a few little aches and pains and a little bit of a leave on some days, I'm good.
Good. Glad to
Yeah.
hear it. And I
Yeah.
give you a lot of props for getting back at it, because I saw that video and that was a hard lick, man. That's woof.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, you mentioned that, and I'll just say this for the people who are listening, is that, Winnie and I, we were actually, we had the GoPros set up on the bike because we were going to go downtown and do like some Christmas ornament making for some family members and that type of thing. And so we were recording. We have the whole thing on video. So going back and watching that, it's traumatic. And
I'm sure.
you were mentioning probably what you saw is that Ruroc helmet commercial they did. And even then, what I asked them to do, I gave them the footage, but I said, edit it in such a way where you don't see Winnie and I fall off the bike. And so they edited it and they cut it where it was just like we were on the bike and then 1 minute we weren't. So a lot of the violence of that accident has been edited out. And man, I'm thankful for that, because it's hard to watch.
I was going to say, because it's hard to watch as the edited version, let alone the wow.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And when you're getting something like that, you deal with a lot of attorneys, and you deal with a lot of insurance companies and that type of thing. And one of the things that my attorney asked me to do is to, he said, "Would you do video editing?" Right? I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, can you slow that down so we can see it, because it's boom and it's done." Right? So I slowed that down frame by frame, probably about 10 or 15 times slower than normal speed. And I'm telling you, sitting through that, watching that.
Oh, I can't imagine.
It's awful. Absolutely awful. But yeah, that is behind us as far as, that type of thing. So yeah, it was an experience.
I have to say, regardless of any brand involved, I'm really glad you guys had your gear on, and it goes to show that proper gear that fits well is, it's what matters.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Because you see too many people out there that are out there in shorts with a half helmet on. You're like, what?
I know, man. I know. I mean, I really do respect everybody's right to choose what type of gear they want to wear, or if they don't. And if you're in a state that says you don't have to wear a helmet, I'm not the type of person that thinks that you should be forced to. But I'll tell you this, that I really do believe that if Winnie and I were not wearing full face helmets, there's probably a pretty good chance we wouldn't have made it. I mean, like right there on the wall, right? Yeah. That's my helmet, and that was the one that she was wearing. And I keep those on the wall just as a memento, just to look at each day and kind of be thankful for a new day,
I think that's a great message. I mean, and I think that's something that people overlook too. I often laugh. People are like, well, I bought this, $30,000 Harley, but I didn't have the money. So I bought an $80 helmet. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have an $80 head. God bless you.
Right. Make the investment, man. Make the investment. So
that's just wow.
Gear's really important, no doubt.
Good. And I'm assuming you had gloves and the jackets and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I didn't have a jacket on, but I did have a big old flannel because it was a little cool. And so did Winnie. And we both had gloves on. So we ended up 0 road rash, which I couldn't believe that. But neither one of us were really cut up at all. It was just impact type of damage that happened to the body, that type of thing.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, well, obviously not clear to hear it happen, but you're here to tell the story.
We're here to talk about it.
There's a lot about the gear you're wearing, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what So I guess even now and before then, so you spent a lot of time in Tennessee. Do you have any favorite spots that you like to go see?
Oh, yes.
Uh-oh, here he goes.
Yeah. So let's see. Probably, I'll tell you two of my favorite, and then I'll give her a third, an honorable mention. So the Cherahalla Skyway is, I've made several videos about it. It is such a fantastic ride, and it's probably 2 hours away from my house. It's
Okay.
near Tellico Plains, Tennessee, kind of up in the mountains a little bit. Man, it's just got these long sweeping turns, that you can really just kind of bear down on the throttle and just go. And so much fun. And then once you get up there on the top, the views on the Cherahalla Skyway are just beautiful. And it runs from Tennessee to North Carolina. So it's a little bit of a ride, but man, that would have to be my favorite.
Nice.
Something else I would say is if you're ever in the area near Gatlinburg, Tennessee, you got to go ride the Foothills Parkway. It's
Okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's just fantastic. I recently got to ride the Foothills Parkway because my wife had some friends in Gatlinburg, and so we went up there and took the bike and got to do some riding. The girls went to the spa, and so we did a little bit of riding.
That sounds like a fair trade-off.
Yeah, man, I'm good with that. So rode all over the Foothills Parkway in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and that type of thing. So those two are my absolutely top favorite. You got to check them out if you're
Okay.
ever in the area for sure.
So what's the honorable mention?
It would have to be Tail of the Dragon.
Okay.
Everybody's heard about it, no doubt, and everybody's probably seen videos of it. I live so close to it. I'm like maybe an hour and 45 minutes away. That every riding season I go up there a time or two.
Okay.
It's not my favorite, but it's just one of those that if you're ever in the area, you've got to go ride it and get the t-shirt and get the experience and that type of thing. But yeah, so even though I would probably say the Dragon is one of the more popular by name, there's a lot of roads around here that are so much better, so much more fun to ride.
I saw Adam Sandoval say that. He's like, the Dragon is kind of one of those things you did it, but I think he was saying it was bootlegger or something. Or
Yeah, there's the bootlegger.
it was supposed to be better than the Dragon.
That's right. Yeah. I'd love to put the bootlegger on my list. There's the bootlegger that's up around that area. Then there's the Gauntlet, which is kind of somewhere in North Georgia, if I believe. That's on our list for me and a buddy to ride. So man, there's a ton of roads to ride around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went up to the I've been up there several times to the Hawk's Nest in New York.
Oh yeah.
And it's great. It's been in a bunch of car commercials, and it's really funny because on the commercials it looks really big. It's like 9 turns, but it's really cool. Because you're up nice and high. But it was a fun ride. New York State's a beautiful place to ride.
Yeah. Anytime you can find riding like that, I love it. I love just to break away for a weekend and go on those type of rides. And it was funny, I was talking to my buddy Eric. I just mentioned him a minute ago, and and he asked me almost that same question. What's one of your favorite rides that you've been on? And I told him, anytime I'm able to go to the Cherahalla Skyway and not put a helmet on my camera, so I can just enjoy the ride, right? And not, I mean, I love it. It's a great hobby. Motovlogging is, but just enjoying the ride and the scenery and just me and my motorcycle, and I don't have to worry about the camera, So yeah, it's just great riding around through here.
And you bring up an interesting point because, and a lot of people that have been on the program have said that it's great that you have these memories, but it's those times when, there is no story. Like we were riding out in the pines and we came around this turn and I almost ran through this like just wild pack of turkeys.
Yeah.
It would have been great for the video, but the story is so great, you just don't care.
That's right. Yeah.
But that's good because I think a lot of people get caught up in the wanting to film everything. And then it sort of takes away from the reason you ride.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I believe that with myself and probably the majority of people who would watch or listen to your podcast is, we're motorcyclists first, and then we're vloggers and YouTubers next.
Mhm.
And sometimes I think those lines get blurred a little bit, because you want good content. You want to do something kind of new and exciting. But man, there's sometimes it's just there's nothing like getting on your own motorcycle and going
Mhm.
for a ride and not filming it.
Yeah,
So
and that's quite the balance. That's why I like doing the install videos, because I have content, but then it doesn't take away from my riding, because then it's my
yeah,
time.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm
Exactly.
not I'm not sitting there with 9 pieces of equipment strapped to my head. No, what do you film with?
I've got a Sony ZV-1 that I
Nice.
use off the bike. On the bike, I've got a GoPro 8, a GoPro 9, and an Insta 360.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are my primary cameras that I use. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so.
I think it's
So
a conspiracy. Everybody's getting a 360, and I'm gonna have to get one. Motoblon swears by hers. I'm like, just don't talk about it. I want to hear about it, because I'm gonna want one.
yeah. Yeah. Well, if you've talked to her about it, and I think I've heard her mention it in a video or two, and there's so much truth to it, is that it really adds to the labor time of
Mhm.
getting your video edited. It's just man, it's a lot of time. There's some times that I'll film just in 180, instead of that
Mhm.
360, just to get the one point of view, just because it just takes up so much extra time. But it's a cool toy, man. It's
Oh,
a
I'm
super
sure.
it's a super cool toy. So
Well, and that's the problem with gear. It feels like the more you get, yeah, it's cool, but then it takes longer and longer.
yeah.
And you're like, what am I doing this for?
That's exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. I mean, compared to some of the videos I've been throwing up lately have been demo rides, and demo rides, you just one camera on,
Mhm.
I do them with just one camera on my helmet, and they're so easy to edit, and I can get those done so quick, as compared to something else with two or three
Sure.
cameras in it. So yeah, I get that.
And it's funny too, because at least, and I don't know if you went through this, but in the beginning it was like, wow, if I had a second camera,
Oh
or if I had a
yeah.
third camera, if I had a mirrorless camera, and the next thing you know, you're like, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't see it, but like on my desk, there's got to be like 3, 4 cameras, lenses. It's
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah.
That's really funny. So what got you started on YouTube? I mean, was it something you did for, I mean, I guess, did you have a plan, or did you just sort of go at it?
I'll tell you what started this with me is I was in a group ride. And we were riding through Reliance, Tennessee. We were going to this burger place called Flip Flops Burgers.
Okay.
Um, with everything that all the small businesses have experienced, it went out of business. But anyway, so we're going through Reliance, Tennessee. And I remember we're on this road, man, and it was like a tunnel of trees with light
Hmm.
coming through. It was just, perfect. And there was a stream on the left side, and you could see it while you're riding. And I remember thinking, man, I wish there was a way I could share this with Winnie, because she wasn't there. I
Yeah.
wish it was, how can I share this with Winnie? I knew about a GoPro, there's got to be a way to do this with a GoPro. So then I probably got home and started Googling GoPro, motorcycle, all that type of stuff.
Hmm.
Anyway, it led me to Traveling Tall.
Oh,
You
he's a
know,
great channel.
he's great. And so I must have put Tennessee or something in while I was Googling this, because he's in Knoxville,
Oh,
which
that's
is,
right.
yeah, which is just like an hour and a half from me or something. So I consumed that guy's videos, just watched everything that he had. And the more I started watching, I was like, I think I can do this. I can give this a shot. And one thing led to another. Like you just mentioned, started out with one camera on the helmet. And next thing you know, you've got gear out the wazoo and that type of thing. But yeah, it kind of all started from just a thought of, man, I'd love to be able to share this with other people.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah. So
Now, have you made, I mean, you've broke 1,000, so your channel is obviously, going in a solid direction. Have you, I guess, how has that changed for you? Have you put more, are you starting to look at it more seriously, the channel? Or are you still doing it just for fun?
yeah, Oh, both
Okay.
actually. I mean, I'm doing it for fun, but I am trying to take more of a serious approach to it. And I've been watching a lot. There's a couple of channels I watch a lot of. Full Throttle Hog. It's just, man, the way he films is just amazing. And Brandon Picasso, watch a lot of his stuff, and just kind of that. I'm trying to learn from these guys that do all this cinematic
Hmm.
type of filming where it's just beautiful. And so that's really some of the goals that I'm setting for myself and my YouTube channel is not necessarily, okay, I want to get 5,000 subs or so much watch time. It's, what goals can I set up that are dependent upon me, right?
Gotcha.
And not other people clicking or watching, but what can I do to push myself a little more? And so, I'm just trying to take a little more time, make things look a little better, and get better at the craft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that that's great because I think a lot of people, like you said, maybe it's a generational thing, but I know like a lot of the smaller, or not smaller, but the younger people of channels that, and it's not a slam on them in any way, but they're sort of looking at it from a standpoint of like, oh, I want the subs and I want everything and I want this. And
yeah,
I think it's kind of neat when you can look at it and, like you said, you become a student of the game and you sort of learn the craft and educate yourself, and
yeah, yeah,
it's fun, nerve
yeah, and
wracking at times, but
very nerve wracking. And I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, really. But once I hit 1,000, you know, and then I monetized the channel. I talked to Colin Bronco Ride. I talked to him
Mhm.
about this, and he kind of led me to believe that maybe I was losing my mind. But I don't know, man. It seemed legit. Is that it seemed like that my number of views and my number of subs just tanked.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it was because commercials or whatever else. So, for the time being right now, I'm releasing all my videos. I'm turning off monetization. I didn't get into this to make money. I don't really care if I make money off of YouTube based off the size of my channel now. I mean, if
Mhm.
I blew up, of course,
Sure.
I'd like to get reimbursed for my time. But and it's odd because it seems like since I've turned off monetization, I'm starting to see a little bit of a pickup again. Again, don't know if it's me or whatever, but it's just kind of something I think I noticed.
It's weird because you're not the only person I've heard that from. People, a lot of people say that if you monetize too early, in other words, if you get to like 1,001, that there's some sort of strange effect that it has. And I don't know
Yeah.
if you're seeing it, but it seems like the last, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 months, everything's kind of changed. Like
Mm-hmm.
and it's weird with YouTube because it's almost like it's a living, breathing thing, but you don't understand it. It's
Right.
just like you said, it just does what it does,
Yeah.
and you have no
Yeah.
concept of why or what happened. People will tell you to release it, always the set time, and then people don't, and they
Yep.
do just as good as other people or better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I try to stay on somewhat of a schedule. I usually try to release my videos on a Thursday. About one a week is all that I can do
Hmm.
right now. I mean, the demo rides that I'm about to finish up on, I'm able to just throw those out one right after the other. But usually about once a week, and kind of balancing work and family life and that type of thing. That's about all I
Sure.
can do. Yeah, yeah.
Well, and
But
I think that that's good too because it doesn't. The other thing I've heard too is if you try and put out so much content, then you're not worried about the quality of it. So you have all this content,
exactly.
but you could have put out one video every 2 weeks that would have been amazing versus 8 videos. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's funny you say that though, because I've heard that from a lot of people. It seems like, and especially now, and I understand it because the world's opened back up. I think there was that period of time during COVID where everybody was and their brother was watching YouTube.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
ran out of things to watch on Netflix at that point.
Well, there might be some truth to that. I've through all this COVID stuff, I've been working from home until recently. I got called back into the office. So now I'm back in on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So, in 3 days, at home 2 days, it's not a bad deal, not a bad deal at all. The way I look at it is like today I was able to ride my motorcycle into work and back home. So it gives me a little extra time to, spend them on two wheels. So that's good for me.
I missed that. Right before everything went to hell, I started working from home, so it wasn't a big
Yeah.
change for me. But yeah, those are the days I miss riding to work, even if it was only 5 miles each way. It was just a nice way to unwind or start the
Oh
day.
yeah, that's exactly right.
It always
Yeah.
felt good. So
Yeah.
speaking of test rides,
Yeah.
a little birdie told me that you might have you might have a hot bike coming in.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so. Well, my intention is to go over to my local dealership, White Lightning, tomorrow, and I'm gonna finish up the paperwork for the Sportster S. So
Nice.
they've got one that is coming in, and they've reserved it for me. So gonna go make it official tomorrow. So
Now, have you test ridden one yet?
I've test ridden two. There was the IMS outdoor motorcycle show.
Yep.
Actually, Ruroc was there, and they invited me just to come out there and kind of meet them and do a little face-to-face introduction and that type of thing. So I went out there and met those guys, met Archie and a few other people. Very friendly, great folks. And while I was there, I mean, all these motorcycles. What are you going to do, right? You're going to ride them. So I was able to ride one of the black ones with forward controls, and then I rode a second one, that crimson maroon color, and it had mids. So and their route, man, was just they pretty much have signs up that say turn here, and they turn you loose. So it was a great demo ride, and that kind of sold me on it. I mean, I've been eyeballing the Sportster S since it was what everybody was calling it, the custom 1250 for a while or something like that. And so it was time, and the opportunity presented itself. So yeah, man, gonna add a second bike.
That's awesome. There's a lot of tech in that bike too.
Yeah. I didn't realize until I was talking to one of the Harley crew guys over there. It's got all the RDRS tech that's built into it, heated grips built into it, and man, it's just so stinking fast. It's just so fast.
I couldn't get over how, because we were at the IMS show in Pennsylvania, I couldn't get over how small it was. Like, it's very low slung, and I was like, wow, this is like a little bike. It probably screams.
Yeah, that's right. When I first sat on it, that first video when I'm riding the black one, I make some comment like, I don't know about this seating position. This is a little, I just don't know about this. But it won me over by the end of the ride. I totally changed my mind. Like, yeah, man, I think I can do this for a little ripper around town and going back and forth to work and that type of thing. So yeah, it is. I see exactly what you're talking about. It's a small bike, but it's a lot of fun too.
My buddy has a 1200 custom. I don't remember what year it is. It's an older Sportster.
Yeah.
And that thing's a hoot to ride. It's small for me because he's a lot shorter, so it's set up for him. But I was like, man, this thing is wicked quick for what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's super fast, really fast, really responsive. I was pretty impressed by it. And then, if you take a look at it, the seat on it, man, just looks itty bitty. It looks paper thin. But over at White Lightning, they were telling me that they're also making a sundowner version of that seat with a little more cushion, a little more padding. But, even the stock seat, it was pretty comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't do any touring on it or anything,
sure,
but just for the riding that I'm getting for it, I was pretty impressed,
So that'll be what? That'll be your around town bike, or will that?
Yeah, that'll be my back and forth to work, and one of the things, talking about the motorcycle accident, one of the things is, Winnie and I, we invested in a trailer. So that way when we travel, I can trailer the bike and still spend time with her, and, we're not isolated and separated from each other. So, if we decide to go visit her parents or something like that, I'm able to take the Sportster and throw it in the trailer and take it just anywhere we want to go. So
I like that idea.
yeah,
We
man.
we have a trailer, but we just use it for storage. So I have I don't know, it fits my ultra. It's a decent sized trailer. But
Yeah.
that's what I kept thinking. I was like, that's what we should be doing. We should just be towing it.
Yeah. It works for us. I mean, I know people have different opinions on if you should tow a bike or if you shouldn't, whatever, to each his own. But for us, it works. And especially with Winnie not feeling like she's comfortable to ride right
Mhm.
now, I'm just not going to hop on the bike and just leave her all the time. So we're able to take the motorcycle with us and, put the dogs in the truck and go wherever we want to go.
Yeah, and I think that's a really, because I was like you at first. I was like, I'd never do that. But then like this weekend, we took a long weekend. I was like, oh man, we could have towed the bike and had the bike with
Yeah.
us and
Yeah.
it's kind of ripped around for a little bit. But you're not, because my wife's in the same position, a little bit different, but she can ride. But she's right now, she's good for about like 50, 100 miles at the most. And
Gotcha.
she's working through that. But that's what I kept thinking. I was like, oh, but if we towed it, we could have did the Skyline Drive and then just put the bike back in the trailer and brought it back.
That's right. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it really provides a lot of opportunities to get out and do some things that maybe you wouldn't before. So so it works for us.
Good.
It's a good move for us. Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
Hmm.
So what is the plans with the Sportster? Are you gonna kind of keep it stock? You gonna mod it out? Because I mean that's gonna be great for your channel too. I mean,
Yeah, I hope so.
there's
I'll tell
so
you,
much you can do with it.
yeah, one of the things that I'm not going to do after riding that one with mids, I'm not going to put mid controls on it. It's just not my thing, man. I just I kind of felt bunched up and almost like my feet felt like they were behind me a little bit. I
Mhm.
just didn't like it, so I'm going to keep the forwards on there. Now I've ordered a small little detachable windshield that goes
Okay.
on it, and it also, you can get this little passenger bag that goes on the little pillion seat that you can get. So, I've got to have that because I got to carry GoPros with me everywhere I
Mhm.
go. So those two things to start with. And I'm sure there'll be more, but whatever those are, I don't have any plans beyond that.
What do you think of the motor? I mean, because I know a lot of people were kind of up in arms that it's a new motor, it's a Japanese style motor. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts on it? I mean, do you feel that that's the future of Harley Davidson, or do
You
you?
know, it might be. I think with a lot of things, corporations, especially in the way the market is today, you got to kind of pivot and go where the market's going. And it looks like that Harley did, Harley made a good move on this. I mean, I'm all about companies moving forward and kind
Mhm.
of breaking the mold of typically what they have done. Just because they're doing something that's worked in the past doesn't mean it's necessarily correct for the future of the business and that type of thing. So, man, I am all about it. It doesn't sound like a traditional Harley. I mean, if you've ever heard that engine run, it does not sound like a traditional Harley. It's got a sound of its own, but it
Mhm.
sounds good. I mean, it really does. It sounds good. It's smooth. It runs great. So I hope the best for Harley, because when they succeed, all of us succeed.
Mhm.
So I'm all for it.
I was surprised to see the specs on that engine. I mean, that little thing puts out some power.
Oh
I mean, there's
yeah,
nothing
man.
little about it, to be honest. I mean, it's a monster.
Yeah, and you can feel every bit of that when you ride that bike. I
Mhm.
mean, it really caught me off guard and kind of pushed me back on the seat a little bit. But just a lot of fun, a lot of power, and I am not an aggressive rider,
Mhm.
and I don't really ride fast as far as a lot of compared to a lot of other motorcyclists. But it's just one of those things. If the power's there, Why not have it? You know, that type of
Oh,
thing.
100%. I mean,
So,
that's why they
so
sell stage kits, right? So you have to have it.
exactly. Got to have it. So it's a great little bike. Love it.
Now, what color are you getting? Do you know yet?
White. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Pearl white. Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah. When they first came out, white was the one that I eyeballed the most. And I was like, I really like that white. And then it went to, no, I like the black. No, I like the crimson. And now I'm back to the white again. So, but I just think it looks sharp and clean, and I think it'll look good next to my bronze armor.
Now, how did you find the heat from that engine? Because I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard some people say it still runs pretty hot, and other people say it's pretty cool.
Didn't bother me a bit. Didn't bother me a bit. I mean, actually, I feel a little more heat on my street glide than I did on that one. So
really, okay,
yeah. So it didn't. I didn't notice. I didn't notice at all. Now, you know,
now is
the
your
demo
street glide liquid cooled or the heads cooled on your street glide? I can't remember.
Man,
I don't think they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, to be perfectly honest with you. And that kind of brings up another topic when you ask me those questions. I mean, some of the mechanical specs on my motorcycle and the street glide I know, but you know, I say this in my demo rides. I say it in just about every one, is that, you know, if somebody wants to watch one of my demo rides for mechanical specs and this, that, and the other, you probably should look elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm an IT guy by nature, and that's kind of where my my technical interests lie, and my areas of expertise. But I say I'm just a normal dude that likes riding motorcycles, you know. So, but it was a fantastic demo ride. So if you ever get a chance, man, go jump on one.
That's awesome. No, I'm the same
Yeah.
way. I just knew that with the Ultra being, they made a comment about, or not a comment, people talk about being the heads are cold, but it still runs hot because I have a 103, and I was just curious.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I'm like you. I'm like, what? I see these people wrenching on stuff. I'm like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, some stuff I can do. I can, you know, custom dynamics lights and that type of thing. I can do that. You know, but I've had on my CVO, I've had some bars put on. I didn't do those, and had a buddy of mine come over and help me put on some Reinhardts. Yeah, I'm just not all that mechanically inclined. Now, my wife, on the other hand, could outwrench me any day of the week on just anything. I mean, it's crazy, but she could. So, yeah. So that's my area of expertise.
Nice. Yeah, I come from an IT background too, so I'm the same way. My dad was a mechanic. I'm like, I'm not getting my hands dirty. No.
All right.
I'm gonna put slip-ons on this weekend, so we'll see. You know, hopefully the bike doesn't explode when I do it. What Reinhardts did you get? Do you have the 4.5s or 4s?
I do 4.5s.
Yeah.
Yep. Love them. They got that deep kind of bass to them. Just they sound so good. So good.
My bike was my first Harley, and it came with Reinhardts on it, and yeah, it's got a cool sound to it. I'm trying out something a little different to see what I can make the engine sound like, but it has that really throaty sound to it.
Yeah, man, they're sweet. They sound fantastic.
I love the way the 4.5 pipes look. I don't care what they are, brand wise. They look so good on those bikes.
They do. Yeah, it's almost like a perfect fit where that little cutout is on the saddlebag. You know, it's just fits perfect right in there.
It just has that like well, especially with the Reinhardts too, because you can change the end. So it has that. It looks cool.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I guess as we're starting to come up to an hour. What are your plans? I mean, do you have plans for your channel? Or are you looking to take it anywhere to sort of grow? Or you?
Yeah, I would love to. What I want to continue doing is really what I've been doing. Just trying to put out content that is to the best of my abilities to entertain my current audience and try to, you know, get other subscribers and that type of thing. And you know, like I mentioned, the quality of the video, and you know, something else is just not really put too much pressure on myself in the process. You know, I'd love to grow the channel, make it as big as it can be. But in the meantime, we've all got lives and jobs that pay the bills and that type of thing. So just not to put too much pressure on me, and just have a good time with my friends and my motorcycle and my hobbies. And it's just,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any trips planned for next year?
Not next year. We've been kicking it around about going back down to Daytona.
Okay.
We rode the bikes down there. I'm sorry, Pensacola. We rode the bikes down there last year before all the accident stuff. So next year we may try to do that trip again. That was fun riding down to Florida. So
nice.
And maybe Sturgis in 2023. Maybe we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep saying I want to do it, and I'm like, I haven't even been to a bike night. I
Yeah.
gotta, not in a while at least. It's
Yeah.
like, well, this is that part of me that wants to go, and the other part of me is like, that's a lot of people. And
Yeah, it's a lot of people. Yeah. But I would love to go and see it, be a part of it. And some of the riding that's over in that area. Some of the videos I've watched from Blacktop Devil.
Oh, their stuff is ridiculous.
Oh,
it's so
man,
good.
alive, so good. So some of the roads over there, I've got to ride them. So that'll be one of those opportunities. Maybe I'll trailer the bike out there and
cool.
Come back with some cool videos.
I look forward to seeing that. So as we wrap up, you're Ty from Tennessee on YouTube and Instagram, correct?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Awesome. And you're also on Facebook.
Also on Facebook, or you can go to tyfromtn.com and that'll loop you right around and take you to my YouTube page.
Awesome. So folks, I hope you take the time to check out Ty's YouTube and his Instagram. And also, again, as a reminder, if you're listening to the podcast version of this, also the video version is also available on my YouTube channel, along with other motorcycle content. Ty, thank you so much for your time and your patience. I know we had quite the ordeal to make this happen.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Thank you.
But I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Stay safe. And please remember, you're not alone. Have a great night.
Good night.